All right, and let's start this over because I had my mic muted. My God. I'm glad I'm the only one watching now, right? Hello, cats and kittens. Let me try that again. Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here with another episode in Gavtia's playthrough in Final Fantasy XIV. We've made it through A Realm Reborn. We've made it through Heavensward. We've finished the Stormblood main expansion. We are on the Stormblood post-patch quest on our way into Shadowbringers. So we are up to a Sultana strings. The description: Alphino's thoughts appear to have turned from adventure to administration. By the way, the voice actor for excuse me, the voice actor for Alphino is now playing Final Fantasy XIV too, and I think he just made it into Heavensward, so it's kind of fun to see his reactions. He said, I recorded these lines like 10 years ago, so he doesn't really remember saying them anymore. So he's like reacting to his own voice acting. It's kind of fun. All right. What do we have going on here? So you want to be a pugilist, the trouble with truffles. Oh. That is a Manderville quest, I think. Pretty sure it is. We'll pick that up another time. I want to work my way through the Post-Stormblood quest tonight. I got started a little bit later than I was anticipating. Going to the Chamber of Rule here. I picked up Clair Obscure Expedition 33, and I live streamed that today, and we got to a big fight that took forever. It was exciting. It was really, really exciting. I thought I was going to die, like, I don't know how many times. It's a good thing I play on story mode there. Oh, Lord. I would be dead, like, if I wasn't. All right. But the fight took quite a bit longer than I anticipated, and then because of the nature of that fight, there were quite a few conversations afterwards. What I intended to be about 2.5 hours turned into 4, so almost 5. So I apologize for starting this late. Bartholomew says, "You are expected, my lord. Please proceed." Usually he's kind of rude to us.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy.
Yeah, last time we had a private conversation with the Sultana, she almost died. So I'm hoping the same doesn't happen.
Yet though he has come to call Ul'dah home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo.
Just got a notification my OBS disconnected. Gonna check that real quick. Okay.
And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Raubahn chooses to remain in Ul'dah or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a Sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure? Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
It's gonna put her on her peasant costume again. Speak with Anonymous outside the quicksand. What does Bartholomew say, if anything? Your audience with her grace is concluded then? Safe travels, my lord. Oh, he calls us my lord now. That new maidservant? No, truly. I probably don't want to know. I'm going to the Adventurers Guild. Yep, there she is. What do you think of Lilira, the merchant's daughter? This is the disguise I don when I wish to leave the palace and observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing, I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Worldly experience. Worldly experience. Okay. Now, let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nald. It's just like walks underneath his legs. I'm like going, what? Kev's going, where's she going? Oh my god. All right, we're going to go out this Gate of Nald. You'd think I'd remember that after so long, but... Oh. Forgot to eat my food. You want to let it go a little longer, or do you want to go ahead and make it now?
I can do it either way. What do you think? You think it would be better to let it rise more?
Let me see it. Oh, yeah, you could do it now if you want.
Okay. Alright.
Smells good. Sorry, you heard about us talking about pizza dough. I made some pizza dough earlier. For the family for dinner, and my son is gonna roll it out and put the pizza sauce on it. We use Pastorelli sauce. Fantastic sauce. I can get it on Amazon. Yes, my authority is limited, and this is an obstacle I must work to overcome. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. Hey, speak with Nanamo at the unholy air. Where's that? Ah, okay. Sorry for any background noise. It was here in this wholly unremarkable place that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interest in eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockslide crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Probably the latter, knowing, who's running the syndicate. Rauban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth he assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens, quite unaware of the consequences my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price of my naivete. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarist damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Coliseum. Ah, thanks. Let me break. And how are you? Hope you're doing well. This is like a relaxed stream here. Those are some great people who do some fantastic streaming. I watch their streams. I learn a lot from them, actually. So mine's like really laid back. I'm still learning how to stream. I've only been doing it, since October, I think. You could tell my early streams from my later ones, for sure. Coliseum. I welcome questions. I don't always see them because the screen that I'm looking at for my chat is like way down out of my field of view. I try and glance down and catch it every now and then. Of all the places in Ul'dah, this is like the most confusing. I've been playing this game I don't know how long. 3-4 years now, and I still get lost here. Nanamo says, from the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of document signing and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Coliseum that I first met Rauban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice, and demanded to see a fair fight, one man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring, which had arranged for Rauban to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Rauban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did. And when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But, as you know, Rauban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the Blood Sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the Syndicate. And then I had my blade. Ooh. Got an echo there.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Shum. Raban!
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Ul'dah. And so, as tradition dictates, Rauban Uldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Ul'dah!
Pretty cool there. Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being, of course. Papa Shan's love for me is that of a grandsire for his grandchild, but upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Rauban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. Persimmon pudding, Doman tea, stewed river bream. Yeah, I think I'll take the elegant silver pieces, actually. Nanamo seems lost in thoughts of the past, the Sultana's duty. We must make haste. My absence will not go unnoticed by the Sultan sworn for long, and there are other places I would visit. To the Arzeneth Ossuary. I don't know if it's ossuary or ossuary. I think that's the Thaumaturge's Guild, yeah. Thaumaturge over here is the precursor to Black Mage. Does monster damage. It was like the highest magic user for DPS until Pictomancer came along. Pictomancer just kind of blew it out of the water. When the calamity threatened, Vauban led the Alliance forces into battle on the plains of Cartano, and I remained here. I prayed with all my heart that Archon Louisoix would have the power to rouse the 12. Since that day, I have made a custom of visiting the shrine during each of my little excursions. Here, I seek the blessing of Thal, reflect upon my choices, and ask myself if I am fulfilling my duties as Sultana. You are rightly celebrated as a champion because you have led the line in 100 battles for the good of Eorzea. In much the same way, I believe the measure of a monarch lies in how she leads her people in times of adversity. If I am to be a Sultana worthy of the name, I cannot turn a blind eye to the troubles facing Ul'dah. I have chosen my path, Gav. With Alamigo now freed from imperial chains, I finally see a way to aid the refugees. Already many displaced Alamegans seek to begin the long trek home. To facilitate that process, I have made a small contribution, an artisan's school in Rogger's Reach for any who wish to learn new trades. Realistically, however, it will take years for such training to yield tangible benefits. But we do not have years. These people will need shelter and employment if they are to survive, and this time, the Ul'dah Treasury shall provide. Precisely where and how to allocate the necessary funds is, of course, another question. Might you ask a member of the Syndicate for advice? Well, they'd probably give her crappy advice. Why not seek the advice of one who employs refugees? Or he could, just listen stoically. But I think he'll do the second one. A wise suggestion. Mayhap a visit to the Gold Saucer is in order. Its proprietor is a member of the Syndicate, and he is one of the few who pay refugees a fair wage. I wonder, are you acquainted with Godbert Manderville? Yes, we are, actually. We have met Godbert. May he have more clothes on this time. Then I need not explain his eccentric nature. Let us make our way to the landing, and I shall see that word is sent to the Gold Saucer. Godbert should be only too glad to receive us. Please, God, let him have more clothes on this time. Oh, we have to... I was going to quick travel up to the Gold Saucer, but we have to meet Nanamo at the airship landing and take there. I've ridden aboard a public airship before, but this shall be my first visit to the Gold Saucer. I must confess to some excitement. Eleonora says, seek passage to the Gold Saucer. Whoop. I had heard descriptions of its splendor, yet I never dreamed it would be so bright and inviting. Oh, they're supposed to be fun. No, I couldn't possibly. We did not come here to fritter away the royal coin. Godbert will be expecting us. Come, let us head directly to the lounge and ignore these gaudy temptations. Well, I'm not going to ignore the gaudy temptations. Oh, I don't have any cards to sell. Okay. Let's do our mini jackpot since we're here. Goal is to do, you know, the 1, 2, 3 and a 7, 8, 9 are the highest ones. Let's see. So 14 there. Oh, you got 540. And right now there is the Make It Rain campaign. So you get 50% extra MGP for gold saucer activities. If you haven't done it before, go check it out. There's lots of fun things to do. You can do card games. There's Mahjong, which I have not picked up at all because I don't know how to play Mahjong. Although I'm sure the game would tell me. There's chocobo racing. There's mini games. There's carnival games. It's a bunch of stuff to do. And some of the prizes you can get are kind of cool. I got the Ishgardian thigh boots for, I think it's 10,000 MGP for here. So, and that is a nice pair of boots. I really like it a lot. If you like thigh boots and you don't like it too gaudy, those are nice, simple ones. Thank you for your patronage. Would you like to play again? Yes. I can play 2 more times today. Seven, 6, 9, 15. 7 is 22. Yeah. And I can't get a 1, 2, 3 any other way, so. Oh, I wasn't going to get anything good there. We get 21. I can't get a 1, 2, 3 any other way. Let's go for the 1620. All right, we got to speak with Nanamo. She is over by Wonder Square West. I don't feel like driving over there. All right. So, Godbert Manderville in all his splendor. They couldn't even put clothes on him for the statue. I believe this is where we are to meet Lord Manderville. Shall we sit while we await his coming? My apologies, Your Grace. I have kept you waiting. No apologies are necessary, Godbert. My request was sudden, and you were kind to make yourself available at such short notice. Godbert says, with the intrepid Gavtia and the Sultana herself come calling, there is no more important engagement. As to the purpose of my visit, I would have your thoughts on how the Crown might best aid the refugees residing in Thanalan. You are aware, I am sure, that many of Alamigo's displaced sons and daughters long to return to their newly liberated homeland, and you are also aware of how they will suffer without shelter and work to sustain them. I would use our nation's wealth to spare them that suffering. What advice have you for me on the matter of how it might best be distributed? Godbert says, the unusual circumstances of our meeting and your Grace's choice of companion would suggest to me a desire for an honest and unvarnished opinion. I shall give you one. My advice to you is stop. Taxing Ul'dah's wealth to save Alamigan refugees is a terrible, terrible idea. You oppose my proposition? Godbert says, most emphatically, I agree with your Grace that the refugees must have housing and employment. But what profit is there for Ul'dah in this arrangement? Profit? After all you have done for Girabania's displaced, I thought you the very last person to seek to benefit from their misfortune. Godbert says, forgive me, your Grace, but you appear to be laboring under a misapprehension. It is a fine endeavor to support one's fellow man. I fear, however, that your stance is one born of pity. Your intent is to save the refugees, is it not? For all our potential, we are indolent creatures by nature. If unconditional charity is all we know, then we begin to rely upon it, to expect it. And then we must consider Ul'dah's own poor and downtrodden. Should they hear of you spending the nation's coin, not to improve their lot, but to nurture the distant citizens of Alamigo, it is unlikely they will applaud your generosity. Surely it is not your grace's intention to foster new resentments, but to spread goodwill? Indeed. Then any support I pledge to the refugees must promote self-sufficiency, whilst also serving the interests of the people of Ul'dah. Exactly so. Such an arrangement will create a far more equitable relationship with the returning Alamegans, even as it generates the revenue required to win the approval of your subjects. You have given me much to ponder, Lord Manderville. I thank you for your candor. Nanamo appears to be reassessing her plans. Prophet, the thought never even crossed my mind. But standing about lamenting my naivety will not do anyone any good. I shall consider my lesson learned and press on. Gav, are you perchance acquainted with any successful merchants? If my attempt at philanthropy is obliged to reap a profit, it would seem wise to consult someone with a knack for business. Ordinarily, I would not trust any agent of the East Aldenard Trading Company, but if you hold this Hancock fellow in high esteem, I am content to be led by you. You may repay my faith by journeying to distant Kugane and speaking with him on my behalf. Eager though I am to visit those shores, I have not the leisure for a lengthy sea voyage. Now, assuming you will travel as adventurers are wont to do, I shall await your report by the Aetheryte in Ul'dah. A fair journey to you, Gav, and a swift one, if you please. Speak with Angak and Kugane. All right, let's go there. I still have my my return set to Kugane because we are probably still going to go there fairly frequently. Wonder what I got. My apologies there. Trying to make sure I have my samurai equipment up to date. Yeah. Oh, why did I buy 2 rings of slang? Oh, that was because I didn't have the 60. All right. I have some blue quests here, but these unlock like the Heaven on High and Criterion dungeons, and we'll probably tackle those another time. Greetings, honored sir. Will you be entering the Ruby Bazaar offices? Yeah. Let us in. Here's Hancock. Gav, to what do I owe the pleasure? Or are you here on business? I beg your pardon? Her Grace the Sultana would have my opinion on how best to invest the wealth of Ul'dah? My dear Gav, I have you to thank for this recognition, I am sure, and I am flattered that you came to me, truly flattered. But why settle for a lowly apprentice when you could have the master? Upon matters of profit, there is no living soul better qualified to advise Her Grace than Chairman Lolorito, a man whose morning exertions are said to fill his guard robe with gold. I don't know if I want to know what the exertions consist of. Trying to keep it family friendly. I should be happy to arrange a meeting for you, say at the Scion's former headquarters in Thanalan. The Waking Sands would seem a suitably neutral venue for negotiations, don't you think? Fare you well, Gav, and may your dealings prove fruitful. Do you have anything else for us? You will not find a shrewder merchant than Chairman Lolorito. Would that I could be present to witness the back and forth of your coming negotiations. Speak with Nanamo in Ul'dah. Sure, we'll use a ticket there. Welcome back, Kev. Did your merchant friend have any useful advice to share? With Lolorito? And you agreed to this? I am well aware of his standing in the field of business, but I had hoped to keep the monitorists at arm's length, and him in particular. Nay, I cannot live in fear of the man. I must learn how to treat with him if I am to rule Ul'dah effectively. Very well. I will meet with Lolorito. Let us go on ahead to the Waking Sands and prepare for his coming. There's nothing like live streaming when you have hiccups, right? At least, when I'm recording, I can, cut those awkward moments out. So, this is where the Scions first congregated. I have heard many tales, but never had occasion to visit. To work, then. The hour of the meeting draws near, and I would gather my thoughts. Pray, see to it that we have the appointed room to ourselves. Wait, we even cleared Urianger out.
A personal summons from the Scions. This must be important business indeed. Though, if it concerns anything so underhand as an assassination, I fear I can be of little help.
Charmed as always, Lolorito.
You have made your point. It is indeed unsettling to find oneself seated across from an impassive mask. There, would this better please your grace? Or should I address you as Lady Lilira?
Nay, the deception has served its purpose. I am glad to see you found amusement in my little jest, Lord Lolorito, but shall we proceed to the business at hand?
By all means. I must say, I am most eager to hear your proposal.
Kind of like that hairstyle.
Simply put, I would aid the refugees camped in Thanalan in their efforts to return to Alamigo. The reparations you paid in the wake of your earlier misdemeanors will be used to fund the endeavor, together with the fortune seized from the late Teleji Adeleji's estate. But this plan is not intended to benefit the displaced alone. I would make of this an investment which shall enrich Ul'dah and Alamigo both. And who better to consult on matters of profit than the wealthiest man in all of Thanalan? I beseech you then, Lord Lolorito, share with us your mercantile wisdom.
Ah, 'twould seem your grace has matured beyond acts of earnest yet misplaced charity. Pray tell me more. To summarize, in return for facilitating the repatriation of refugees and assisting in the establishment of new industry in Alamigo, you ask that a proportion of all subsequent profits be promised to Ul'dah. Ha! I am impressed, Your Grace. 'Tis an elegant solution, albeit one lacking certain crucial details, specifically which industry and where.
How swiftly you identified the weakness in my plan, just as I knew you would. Your travels have taken you across the length and breadth of Gir Abania, and you know the land far better than I. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? Which has the greatest potential to flourish, given the appropriate investment?
Does that guy have donkey ears?
They're not donkey ears, they're cat ears.
They look like donkey ears.
No, he's a Mikote. He's a cat boy. Not donkey ears.
They look like donkey.
Papa Cat Gamer thinks that Gav's ears look like donkey ears. He's wrong. I just want to say that. Papa Cat Gamer is right on a great many things, but that one is not one of them. Which of the settlements you visited would best provide a home for our refugees? We do Alagana, Alagiri, or the Saltery. Pretty sure the answer is the Saltery, but I want to hear what Lolorito has to say.
Yes, Quarry Town certainly does carry the potential for profit. At least it would do were it situated anywhere near a lucrative market. It would cost more to transport the materials than they are worth, in my humble opinion.
See what he says about Alagiri.
Yes, if a stable trade route can be established between Ul'dah and Alamigo, then Alagiri would once more become an important waypoint. But while such growth would greatly benefit its current residents, I'm afraid it could sustain little beyond that.
Clearly you want me to say the Saltery. Let's do that one.
Ah, yes, that desolate little village on the shore of Loch Seld. I know the Saltery and its products well. The Imperial invasion brought an end to their more widespread distribution, much to the dismay of many a wealthy gourmand, myself included. Salt has ever been a transformative ingredient, and in this instance, I dare say, it could transform a modicum of effort into a mountain of gill.
The local citizens will need to be consulted, of course, but I trust the East Ul'dah Trading Company can be relied upon to provide its assistance in negotiating a mutually beneficial arrangement.
Naturally, Your Grace. I shall dispatch representatives well-versed in the extraction of this white gold and wring every last ounce of profit from its production. The Loch's bounty will contribute to Alamigo's enrichment, whilst easing the burden on the bull's aching shoulders. Just as Your Grace desired.
deal is struck then.
All right. Guess I'm going to be running for him some more. Oh, I fear it will be many years before I feel comfortable taking part in such negotiations. But I shall not complain. We have piqued Lolorito's interest and secured his invaluable expertise. Thank you, Gav. I could not have done it without you. None of this is like anything I really want. So I'm going to take the silver pieces. Nanamo is ready to move ahead with her plans. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Gav, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hext on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. Alright, does she have anything else for us? You need not accompany me back to the palace. I will have Papa Shan arrange an escort. That is, if he hasn't already organized a search party. I've been absent for rather longer than intended. Okay. Let's see if Urianger has anything new to say to us. None save thee can deliver Ishgard from Lady Iceheart's vengeance. Pray, hasten thee to Whitebrim Front, where Lord Drillmont awaiteth thy coming even now. Okay. No one can save Ishgard from Lady Iceheart's revenge. Hurry to Whitebrim Front, where Lord Drillmont is waiting your arrival, even now. I have that, I actually had talked to him. I'm, I do those quests as they pop up on my duty finder, because I do roulettes every day. It's a good way of making gil. Speak with Lise in the Alamigan Quarter. Alright, let's see what the boys have to say before we talk to Lise. Whiskar. Greetings, Gav. I'm actually in the middle of reporting to the commander here, so... Shut up. That's what he's trying to say. Harnvald says, Welcome back, Gav. How was your audience with the Sultana? Alfino says, In your absence, I have kept myself busy cataloging the riches of the Mad King's trove and calculating its worth in gil. I have some way to go, but the figure is already quite staggering. That's pretty cool. Gav, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? So... Rauban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. Alfino says, and this plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But, well... It wasn't us, it was Lord Manderville. But on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat that I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Lise says, honestly, Alfino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? Everything. But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Saltary's residents. Whiskar, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Whiskar says, right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Gav? I might need you to fill in the details. Alphino says, then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. All right. Does she have anything else with us? I'll have to give Nanamo my thanks next time we meet. With this and everything else that's been happening, it really feels like things are gathering pace around here. Arnwald says, I'm leaving the business of dividing up the treasure to those who know about such things. I'm not proud to admit it, but every time I see a column of numbers, my eyes glaze over. One of these days, I'll have to ask Alphino to explain it all to me. That would be slightly less painful than asking Urianger to explain it to you. Although both would be very thorough. Porta Pretoria is probably close to there. Keep forgetting this is what I want to look at. Trying to see if I had any tunes up in the 60s, and I don't yet. I have to level Samurai a little bit more. Alphino says, ideally, one would want Alamigo's stake to match Ul'dah's gil for gil, in combination with a cast iron contract that should serve to prevent Lolorito from making off with all of the profits. Muscar says, let's go and see Granddad. He's going to want to hear this. Watt says, what manner of mischief brings you young'uns to old Watt this time? Muscar says, they want to rebuild the Saltary, Granddad. Gav, tell him about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. Doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Muscar says, don't worry, Granddad, we'll take care of all that. Commander Hext has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the block if I asked. Watt says, I'd appreciate that, Whiskar, my lad. Truly I would. So, does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? Whiskar says, I've been training, but mostly to kill Imperials. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Gav? Don't you think you would cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? You can count me in. Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Alphino says, whilst you are busy attending to the local fauna, I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltary to its former glory. Good hunting. Do they have anything else? Needless to say, I shall impress upon our friend here the singular importance of securing a fair contract with his Ul'dah benefactors. Watt says, does my heart good to see youngsters like my grandson giving their all to rebuild the country. Feels like anything's possible. Speak with Whiskar and use the telescope to observe a yabby. Okay. Right then, Gav. I got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at the pests. Once you get their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Search your surroundings for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a yabby and inspect it with the mouse button. Ah, Yabby's jaw. Oh, we gotta find the weak spot. Yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, it looks like you've found a Yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for this off. Just hit it as hard as you can. See what it says. Alright then. I was hoping there'd be more of a trick to it, but brute force it is. Uh-oh. It might get us in trouble. Let's give poor Whiskar a break next time. Give him the correct answer. Thanks, Gav. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of potatoes. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the Yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? Search your surroundings for phobads. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a phobad and inspect it. Sorry there. Ah, the eye. The phobad's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Ugh, phobad. How do I defeat one of those? Just hit it really, really hard as you can. Let's have mercy on Whiskar. Destroy the core within its brow. Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. How about in the eye? Oh, we get a victory instead of a little, instead of the different music. It's not easy fighting with the Liberator Alamigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Gav. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road, we should head back to the Saltery before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. Alfino says, for the merchants of Ul'dah, a well-constructed contract is both sword and shield, and Wat must understand that if we are to meet them on an even field. Oh, and Wat must understand this if we are to meet them. Let me try that again. For the merchants of Ul'dah, a well-constructed contract is both sword and shield, and Wat must understand this if we are to meet them on an even field. Speaking of battles, does Whiskar seem equal to the challenge, or to the task of thinning the Loch's monster population? He certainly seemed eager enough. Scar says, let's hurry up and tell Granddad how the hunt went. It'll set his mind at ease. Wat says, I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? Whiskar says, I fought them myself, after a bit of instruction from Gav here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no doubt keeping the shoreline clear. Or no trouble. Good lad, a fine young man you've become, Whiskar. Fine young man indeed. Too often of late I hear tales of folk over in the city drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. Wat says, it'll be nice to have some resistance lads and lasses around to watch over us. No one wants to worry about being dragged into the loch while you're just trying to get an honest day's work done. Whiskar says, Granddad and his friends are already hard at work. The rest of us can do no less, eh? Ooh. Alfino seems satisfied that he and Wat are of one mind. It seems Whiskar has the Saltery's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Wat and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Flame Scout. Message from General Aldine. Apologies for the interruption, sir, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Alfino says, do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I shall remain here to hammer out the finer details with Wat and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. Flame Scout says, General Aldine asks that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamegan quarter. My apologies again, sir. Very well. See anything else? That Alfino is a bright lad, isn't he? I told him what we'd need to repair the place, and he tallied up the total cost on the spot, and it weren't a small number either. Pray, leave the administrative task to me. General Aldine will be waiting. Whiskar says, I'll ask Commander Hex to assign a squad to patrol the Saltery's harvesting and fishing spots, and I'll be sure to tell him what you told me. We're in a little trouble now since we told him the wrong thing, but, you know, it'll be okay. And a quick travel back. Ooh, destination. Hang tight with me for a moment. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't an instance battle where I needed to kind of review what to do to kind of talk my way through it while we were playing it.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops. But after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal.
Ooh.
Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the Resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
Laurentius can be strung up by his toenails for all I care.
Hear, hear. There is no more fitting sentence for the perpetrators of such a massacre, and that is but one of their crimes. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
We gave Laurentius a chance, and he burned us.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Ul'dah and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
Oh.
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain. Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
It's a nice view. Arnvald says, I was just on my way to the Saltery. It's lucky I saw you. Pippin says, Arnvald seems flustered. Something is amiss. Raban says, that took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Arnvald, what news? Arnvald says, we have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are Kaliana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lise is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. Pippin says, an invitation was extended to all of the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kaliana would refuse it out of hand. Raban says, we'd best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Gav, you've dealt with these Kaliana before. I'd have you at my side. Okay, I think this... Okay. I wanted to double check. There is an instance duty after this. Wait, where am I going? I'm going out here is where I'm going. It's kind of flew over the walls. I'm gonna eat some more food. Lisa says, Gef, Rabban, good gods, it's good to see you. Shanti says, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabania home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. He says, it is our wish and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. Captain says, I reckon that's close we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Rabban says, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Rabban says, why do I have the feeling we've welcomed the Viper into our midst? Because you literally have. The Ananta are snake people. What do you expect? Arnvald says, turning the Kaliano away now would have made a mockery of Lisa's promise to give everyone a say. She couldn't not let them in. Dress up Rabban. Rabban seems unconvinced by the Kaliana's sincerity. This Kaliana elder's intentions seem at odds with all we know of her tribe. What think you, Gav? The enthralled cannot be trusted, or mayhap even the enthralled can learn to compromise? Well, the enthralled can't be trusted. I just said that once a creature has fallen under the sway of a primal, there is no salvation. And I strongly doubt the Kaliana have suddenly broken free of Lakshmi's will. Whatever the truth, I would take no chances. The guard must be strengthened, ideally with people who know a thing or two about primals. Can we rely on the scions? Arnvald says, I'll round up our comrades and send them to the Alamigan quarter. You can go on ahead if you'd like, Gav. Rabban says, my thanks. I'll see you in the palace. All right, I'm going to take a quick break before we start this. I need to get another drink and do a couple of quick things. I will be right back. Sometimes you got to take a bio break, you know? All right. We are back. All right. Mission complete. Report to the barracks for debriefing. My squadron came back from an 18-hour mission. Gif, I've brought reinforcements. Oh. Alfino says, Arnvald told me of the arrival of our unexpected guests, and I agreed that it would be prudent to call upon Y'shtola and Thancred as well. Y'shtola says, one can never be too careful when dealing with the enthralled. Thancred says, I'm not familiar with the Kaliana tribe myself, but Alize's report suggested that they shunned contact with other races. Despised it, in fact, even compared to other Ananta. Alfino says, indeed. This apparent reversal in attitude is most curious. No one expected a response to our invitation, much less an envoy, and I imagine Lys was forced to make some rather hasty arrangements in order to accommodate them. Arnvald says, speaking of which, how should we deploy ourselves? Y'shtola says, if the meeting is to be held in the throne room, 'twould seem wise to have eyes both inside and outside the palace. Thancred says, Y'shtola and I can stand guard without. That leaves the three of you to keep watch over proceedings in the throne room itself. Alfino says, understood. We should join General Audine inside then. Arnvald says, Gav, do you know of the rear entrance to the palace? It's on the eastern edge of the city at the top of the stairs. The guard there should have been instructed to let us pass. Alright, we gotta speak with the resistance guard. Really? Why can't we just go in the way we were here, you know? What does Y'shtola have to say to us? As fortune would have it, I was visiting Rauger's Reach to look in on Alize. She sends her regards. Ingrid says, leave external security to us, Gav. I scouted around the palace quite extensively while I was searching for Kryles, so I know the lay of the land. It's kind of handy to have that. Arnvald, the rear entrance to the palace is just up these stairs. The guard should wave us through. If we could somehow come to an understanding with the Kaliana, it would represent a great leap toward resolving the primal dilemma in Alamigo. I only hope they are sincere in their intentions. We're about to find out. Oh. You're with the Scion, sir? General Audine left orders that you were to be escorted inside. If you'll follow me? Yep.
Thank you all for coming. I am Lys Hext, and I speak for the Resistance. Among you are village elders, refugee leaders, envoys from the Ananta and the Kikern. You've come from every corner of Girabania to help decide the future of Alamigo. What was the first thing you noticed when you came in?
Went through that a little too fast. Sorry, guys.
For me, it was that empty throne. It has no one to sit on it now. No viceroy, no king. Would any of you like to take their place? Or should someone else sit there? Then let's sit here in a circle, as equals, and I hope, as friends.
These are elders. You think she'd get him some chairs.
Expertly done. Lys has removed monarchy as a choice early in the game and positioned them to consider a joint government. All things considered, I would say events have got off to a fine start.
And that is Alagana's stance on the matter.
Thank you, Ravenfoot. Another vote in favor. Next, let's hear from Shanti of the Kaliana. Tell us, how do your people feel about the idea of a republic?
The Ananta wish only that those who dwell within Gir Abania devote themselves to our faith. You shall all worship Sri Lakshmi! Lady of bliss, grace us once more with your beauteous visage!
Oh, that's not good. Those little snots put the crystals into the water beforehand.
This can't be happening. No crystals were allowed through the door.
We can worry about the how of it later. We need to evacuate these people right now, or the Primal will make thralls of them all.
It's up to us.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Gods damn it! The guards were already turned! Fools!
No, you don't!
The Kaliana would see us all enthralled.
Then they're going to be sorely disappointed. We have the Warrior of Light and Arenvald to shield us.
Aye, but they can't well defend your guests and attack the Primal, can they?
All right, I think I have an idea. Keep these people safe, General. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Nice.
Ah, whatever she's about, you'd best make it quick. Come then. Who will be next to die on my steel?
All right, our job in this phase is to keep the glowing balls away from our allies, and that's it. That's our sole job. Does Raban have anything to say? Leave the underlings to me. You have a primal to fight. No. How do we fight her without leaving our allies wide open? We can't stay on the back foot forever. No. Damn it, if I think like this, we've already lost. I have the Warrior of Light at my side. We can do this. Isn't that right, Gav? Use the duty action deflect to dissipate the ether spheres Lakshmi releases during the battle. Okay, and if you fail, don't worry. Okay? If a ether sphere hits an ally, the duty fails. So, but if it happens, it happens, and you just restart it on easy mode. Be warned that allowing an ally to be enthralled by an ether sphere will result in failure. We don't touch Lakshmi at all.
I offer you peace and serenity.
Stay out of those lines. Oh my god. Oh shit.
I shall free you from your hate.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If I recall, I failed that one the first time.
It's only a matter of time before we miss one.
Aha!
What of it? Do you want to kill this thing or not?
Defeat Lakshmi. Yeah, don't touch Lakshmi at first. Just focus on keeping the ether balls away from everybody. Yeah, you don't want to overlap. Ah, we can't do anything. They forsake eternal bliss. You need more than 3 to best a primal. If we let you fall here, then who's to stop her? What? I can't move. She's going after Lise and Roban. Okay, we gotta do active time maneuver. Oh, fuck. Ah. Sorry for the naughty word there, guys. I try and keep it. Try and keep it clean. Find denial. Get under the shield here. If you're melee, stay in melee range. Melee, don't forget your positionals. Ooh, get out of that conal. Get underneath there. Remember, if you can't make your positionals, use True North. Ooh, Lise, go for it. All right, duty complete. Yeah. That one was a hard one for me because I felt like I couldn't get to all those balls in time. Enjoy the cutscene.
We did it! We beat her!
Good job, Ironvald. Good job. Good job, team.
What is this?
I'm only gonna say this once. The Ananta just summoned their primal in the throne room. My friends are fighting her, but they need help. They need someone with the Echo, and by the gods, I wish I had it, but I don't. I told you before that you still had time, but things have changed. I need your answer now. You can end it like Xenos, or you can fight for Alamigo. Your choice.
And we know our choice.
Seven hells. It's her, the Butcher.
It's done. Take me back to my cell.
You are not forgiven. Not you. You I will never forgive. But I will thank you. For standing against a primal and saving us from servitude. You have my thanks.
Aww. It's easy to miss that teardrop that falls. You're just kind of skipping through this. What's Ironval got to say? That was unlike any battle I've ever seen. I'm not entirely sure how I survived it, to be honest. Raban says, one wrong step and I would have lost my will to that fiend for the rest of my days. 'Tis a sobering thought. Lise is certainly living up to her own ideal. Not every commander would choose to enlist a former enemy's aid in battle. Ishtola says, I think I shall make a habit of checking for primal influence before our meetings from now on. This Annette is, they Grace all Nanta. Thancred says, we encountered our fair share of enthralled outside the palace, enough to delay us from lending you a timely hand, I'm afraid. Well fought, Gav Arnvald. That was a near thing. Raban says, our stand against the Kaliana would have been brief indeed had you not volunteered for guard duty. We'd be enthralled as surely as our sentries were. They must have planned this far in advance. Lisa, security was my responsibility, and I know how dangerous primals can be. I should have... It's my fault. My stupid mistake. Raban says, nay, lass. We were all caught unawares. We will take this as a lesson and watch our own more carefully in the future. You can be sure that the lackeys who smuggled the crystals into the throne room weren't the only thralls in our ranks. The soldier who first spoke up in favor of the Kaliana keeping our weapons springs to mind. Y'shtola says, a primal's servant is betrayed by his aura. If you mean to conduct an investigation, I can identify any others acting under Sri Lakshmi's influence. Lisa, thanks, Y'shtola. We'd appreciate the help. Arnvald, speaking of help, I almost fell over when Fordola turned up. What was she even doing there? Lisa's, I asked her to come. Now, nobody else has heard, seen the story or heard the story. Arnvald says, well, that explains it then. He says, it's sad, but Ragnfrid was right. Her victims will never forgive her for what she's done. But I don't think Fordola picked up that sword looking for forgiveness. She wanted to fight for her country. If you say the world in which Fordola grew up is partly to blame for what she became, then as an Alamegan, I feel responsible for improving that world. We can't ignore what's happening right now. We have to show people a better way than vengeance, or we risk giving birth to a new generation of skulls. I know it's idealistic, but I want to help people to let go of their old grievances and make peace with each other. And I'll hold 1,000 meetings and talk till I'm blue in the face if that's what it takes. Alfino says, 'tis a long and arduous path you have chosen, but one well worth walking. Rest assured that I will do whatever I can to help you reach your destination. Thank you, Alfino. The first step will be to get our representatives back in the throne room. They're a little shaken, but not one of them seemed ready to run. We're all determined to finish what we started. Robin says, I will see that you're not interrupted. Gav, you and the Scions are to stand down. Get some rest. You've earned it.
A fine spot to contemplate the heavens. The meeting is over. The envoys have chosen to instate a government model on Ishgard's House of Commons, a ruling body of representatives elected by the people. It is a fair decision, and one which signals the end of my part in all this. But I would gaze upon Girabania's stars one last time before I leave. Forget something? Your Grace, there was no word.
Raubon Aldin, you are hereby dismissed as General of the Immortal Flames and relieved of your seat on the Syndicate.
Oh my.
But, Your Grace...
Raubon, I am no longer a child. Stay here in your homeland. Work with your brethren. Rebuild Alamigo.
You desire to stand alone. I understand, but remember what happened.
I remember full well the consequences of my naivety, and thus did I consult at length with a most trusted advisor ere I embarked upon this course.
A most trusted advisor? And what of me? Am I no longer deserving of your confidence?
What trust can there be between us when you withhold the truth from me? Did you think me oblivious to the anguish in your eyes when you spoke of returning to Ul'dah? For years and years, we have trusted one another. Yet now you refuse to confess your heart's desire?
I swore an oath to you that day on the sands. I pledged my sword.
And it has served me well. But in Pippin you have forged a new sword, as sharp and deadly as the blade you bequeathed him. I will show you a Sultana who can wield every weapon at her disposal, including Lolorito and his monetarist cronies. So follow your heart, please. You are home. You are free.
Nanamo.
Smile for me, Raubon. I would have this parting be a joyous one.
Thank you, Your Grace. It has been an honor to serve you and Ul'dah.
Tomorrow you will serve Alamigo and fight for the good of all Eorzea. Am I understood?
Yes, Your Grace.
All right. I went to see Ul'dah in her cell again. She did turn the tide of the battle after all, and I thought it only right to thank her. She wouldn't listen. She neither wanted nor needed my gratitude, and that... Oh, said she needed... Let's start that again. She wouldn't listen. Said she neither wanted nor needed my gratitude, and that I should go away. I don't know if I'll ever understand her. Ironvald is of an age with Ul'dah, both of them born Alamigan. One never wanted his Garlean blood, and the other tried to become Garlean, but could never be. Similar, yet opposite. Which would go some way to explaining the tension between them. Or the fact that she, betrayed the Garleans and killed her own country people, but okay.
Thanks for shielding us from Lakshmi, you two. If you hadn't been there, the rest of us would be worshipping her by now.
You're kind to include me, Lise. But we both know who did most of the work. I could scarce keep track of the battle, let alone land a telling blow. No shame in admitting it. The Warrior of Light has put far better men than me in the shade.
Did I mention that I encountered the Sultana in the palace? It would seem Her Grace has come to Girabania to oversee the final stages of her relocation project. She was in search of General Ul'dah, and I directed her to the rooftop garden. I do hope he was still there.
Are you in the habit of gossiping about the affairs of royalty, Master Leveilleur?
Certainly not, Your Grace. I was merely informing my companions.
Deities, Alphino, 'twas only a jest. But I must yield the floor to Rauban. He has an important announcement to make.
As of yesternight, I have been relieved of my post in the Immortal Flames and the Syndicate both.
I shall be assuming my father's duties. And may I say that Tizona has never felt heavier upon my back.
Twould seem I am in need of employment. Mayhap one of my old acquaintances can introduce me to a mercenary company or some such.
You may be getting on in years, father, but you'd struggle to find a band of sellswords who wouldn't snap your hand off. Your remaining hand.
Nothing like a little awkwardness there, right?
Yes, the Bull of Alamigo need not be put out to pasture just yet.
Your Grace has developed a wicked edge to her humor. And you, Pippin, would do well not to laugh when the future may hold the same for you.
Does this mean you're staying?
Aye. That seems to be the way of it. I would be glad to aid you in rebuilding our nation, if you'll have me.
If, he says. Welcome home, Rauban.
Well, that was unexpected. Though you seem distinctly unsurprised.
Who, me? I didn't let the cat out of the bag.
Can I give you credit for, or I'm losing my touch? In any event, one thing is certain. Alamigo will rejoice at the homecoming of her dearest son.
This is what adults do, Alf, you know? This is what adults do. Iron Valtis, Rauban is the veteran of 100 battlefields. Lise couldn't ask for a more reliable ally to have at her side. That's true. Lise must be overjoyed to know that General Aldine is staying, though I suppose I shouldn't call him General anymore. I have asked enough of you, Gav. My only words for you now are those of gratitude. Pippin says, I must assume Father's responsibilities without delay, lest our rivals, both inside and outside of Ul'dah, treat his dismissal as a window of opportunity. Rest assured they will find Tizona's edge just as sharp as my hands. Raban says, it seems my road has come full circle. I appreciate the support you showed for my earlier decision, overruled though it was. I think it's about time I headed back to Ralger's Reach. What's next for all of you? Alfino says, Alize will be eager to hear of recent events, so as she'll join you, if you've no objections. I'd welcome the company. Gav, why don't you come along to the Reach as well, once you've said your farewells to Nanamo and the others? Sounds like a plan. Upon completion of this quest, you will be able to access the palace's rooftop gardens by speaking to the royal menagerie attendant. Okay. See if they have anything else to say. All right. Nope. Back to Ralger's Reach. Ah, here's Minago. We bought this freedom with blood, that of our friends and our enemies. I'll be damned if we're going to give it up again. Well, here we are again. Alize says, Alfino has regaled me with a thrilling tale of hidden treasure troves, mid-meeting betrayals, unlikely alliances, and joyous homecomings. It would seem I missed everything. Minago says, I was patrolling the palace grounds with Thancred and Y'shtola when we heard the report of a primal in the throne room. I honestly doubted my own ears. As others have said, we were lucky to have our Echo-blessed champions nearby this time, though we'll need to keep a closer eye on the Kaliana. Lee says, you could say that again. This whole episode has reminded me just how far apart our kinds still are. It looks like centuries of fear and mistrust really can't be washed away in a day. Well, no, they really can't. It's the nature of humans. But someone has to make an effort at reconciliation if these conflicts are ever going to end. And of course, the Ananta technically aren't humans, but, a lot of times things, different peoples have conflicts, and it can take a long time to erase the anger. Naturally, a lot of people are crying out for vengeance, but I've been doing my best to calm things down. Violent reprisals will only lead to more summonings. Alfino says, indeed, violence will ever beget violence, as the Empire has learned to its cost in recent times. He says, in any case, summoning Lakshmi was the broodmother's doing, and whoever replaces her might not be so keen on the idea. We'll just have to watch and wait. Which isn't to say we won't be putting the safety of our allies in the Vera and M tribes first. I plan to have resistance scouts keep track of the Kaliana's movements at all times. Minago says, my parents will be relieved to hear that. What are your plans for the rest of the resistance army out of interest? Are we to prepare for Imperial counterattacks? Lee said, that would be a question for the Resistance newest recruit, a military commander with far more experience than me. What? The Bull of Alamigo? We call it an army, but the Resistance is really a collection of smaller independent groups, and when Conrad passed his command on to me, that authority only extended to the freedom fighters based in Ralger's Reach. He just happened to be serving as the Resistance spokesman at the time and needed someone to take over the role while everything was in disarray. But that time has passed. When I speak with the other leaders about reforming the army under the new government, I'll be nominating Rauban as the overall commander of our forces. He has more experience than the rest of us put together, and we stand to learn a lot from him. Alfino says, indeed, he is in all respects the ideal choice, assuming he accepts the post. Alamigo will have added a formidable weapon to its arsenal. And given the progress of Nanamo's resettlement initiative, I see great cause for hope. The seeds which we so carefully sowed have begun to quicken, my friends. He says, I like it. We tend to our promises and watch as Alamigo blooms. Aw, and we get a little dress-up Rauban. Detachable arm optional. And I don't... Excuse me. Cutscene. Kosetsu says, I do give thanks to the kami that my makeshift raft withstood the fury of the seas. But there their generosity ended. Without coins in our pockets for new attire, we are doomed to look like so much jetsam. Oh, woe betide the poor man in a city of rich merchants. These dango are delicious. Will you have one? More sweetbreads. I surrendered my blade to secure what few coins we have. Bah, it's like talking to a child. Why fate saddled me with this burden, I will never know, but I am alive, and I must return to my master's side. Come, Suyu. We shall find a ship to carry us across the Ruby Sea. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. Have you read the reports? First Doma, then Alamigo, and Lord Xenos put to the sword. Do not believe everything you read. I hear the Viceroy was merely wounded, and that he has already returned to the capital. Naturally, the savages beat their chests and boast loudly of taking his head regardless. Nay, Lord Xenos lives? Deplorable. That our own officers should be fooled by Eorzean misinformation. Small wonder the provinces have begun rising up in rebellion. We must prepare an official and, above all, accurate announcement to quell these pernicious rumors. They would wage war with empty words. Let them produce the Viceroy's remains, then. We shall soon put the lie to their claims. Ah, who is that? They've been quiet since their treachery in the throne room, but the Kalyana are a problem we'll need to solve at some point. Lise has tidings to share with you. Gav, great timing. I was just about to send word to the Scions. I've got lots to tell you. The Council has officially recognized the Resistance as our standing army, and I expect you can guess who's been appointed commander. Suffice it to say, we are in good hand. Good hand. Having the Bull of Alamigo at the helm's done wonders for morale. People were dancing in the streets when the announcement was made, and we have you and the Sultana to thank for it. If you two hadn't worked your magic, he'd never have contemplated following his heart. Monago says, the council has also decreed that we're to maintain a presence at Rogger's Reach. Lise will continue to lead our forces in the fringes, a job she's been doing tirelessly. A bit too tirelessly, some might say. We're constantly having to remind her to rest before she falls over. Lise says, that's an exaggeration, and I always get up again. Anyway, we can hardly afford to lower our guard now, not after our latest brush with Lakshmi. Speaking of which, we've been keeping a close eye on the Kalyana, and it looks like they've chosen a new leader. It's, Shanti's daughter. You know, the half-dead one. For whatever reason, the Kalyana thought she was the best candidate, which makes them leaderless, basically. As things stand, there's no prospect of engaging in talks, let alone coming to an understanding. But I won't let that stop me. I'll keep on reaching out to them until they finally see sense. Just like I've been reaching out to Fordola. She still won't meet my gaze, but she's given up trying to ignore me. It may only be the odd grunt, but at least she's responding. I'll get through to her yet. Always the optimist. Elfino says, Gav, there you are. Elfino, Alize, is everything all right? Alize says, we've received word from Tataru. Hancock has apparently acquired information of great interest and urgency. More than that, she didn't say, only that we should come to Kugane right away. Elfino says, I had in mind for the two of us to set forth together, but Alize is determined to make it a party of 3. Alize says, as I've told you more than a dozen times, brother, my wounds are quite healed, and I would benefit from some fresh air. Besides, you may well need an extra pair of hands. Elfino says, worry not, sister. I have quite given up trying to convince you. Whether we be 2 or 3, we should depart as soon as possible. You will be joining us, I trust. Oh, yeah. Lisa says, I was about to say I'd come too, but I'll just have to settle for cheering you on from afar. Good luck with, whatever it turns out to be. Elfino says, thank you, Lise. Rest assured, should this business prove to be of even tangential concern to Alamigo, we shall inform you without delay. Let us be off. Hancock and Tataru await us at the Ruby Bazaar offices. Alright, does Lise have anything else? Give Tataru a hug from me, alright? I hope all goes well in Kugane. Safe travels. Alright, head to the Ruby Bazaar offices in Kugane. Let's take our free trip over there. Greetings, honored sir. May I show you in? Yep.
My friends, thank you for coming at such short notice.
We were told the matter was urgent. I take it Yugiri and Soroban are also involved?
My presence here is but a happy coincidence. I am come on separate business, which can wait.
My apologies. Master Hancock, pray, tell our friends exactly what you told me.
Of course, of course. Some few days ago, a large detachment of soldiers was seen arriving at the Garlean embassy. This seemed to me most unusual, as no personages of note are due to visit for a matter of months. So, I made a few inquiries, whereupon I learned of a most curious rumor. Apparently, the soldiers were dispatched to Kugane to investigate recent sightings of a certain individual. The late acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma, Yotsuyu.
They spotted her already.
I beg your pardon?
I too am loath to believe it. I saw the keep come down on top of her. We all did.
I would not presume to question your eyewitness accounts, nor am I one to take rumors at face value. The fact is, the Garleans have no knowledge of what took place at Doma Castle. They may well be chasing after a woman who merely resembles Yotsuyu. But a woman who resembles Yotsuyu in the company of a grizzled Rogadan samurai? I dare say that thickens the plot.
Gosetsu! He's alive!
While I've no conclusive proof, I thought that such a possibility warranted your attention.
Have you informed Lord Hien? Well, I think we'd all like to believe the old bear survived.
Indeed. While I dare not give myself wholly to hope, I will not deny that I have prayed for such a miracle ever since that fateful day. But regardless of my personal feelings, if the Empire has seen fit to pursue these rumors so vigorously, we can scarce afford to ignore them. I am bound by duty to ascertain the truth of the matter. Will you join me in this quest?
Sure. I will find Gosetsu together. I am not sure what I'd do if I saw Yotsuyu again. I'm not sure what I would do either.
I understand. Only too well. But if Gosetsu yet lives, he will need our help if he is to avoid capture.
Gosetsu is a dear friend, and we cannot abandon him to the mercy of the Empire. Our course is clear. Hancock, is there aught else you can tell us?
Alas not, but I have taken the liberty of employing one of the finest informants money can buy. You shall have the latest intelligence on the Garleans' movements, and more besides.
It's a shit-eating grin if I ever saw one. The informant awaits your pleasure in the back streets of Sanjo Hanamachi. From its shining facade to its dark underbelly, few know Kugane as intimately as he. At least this is one of the finest informants money can buy. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Sorbad says, permit me to assist you in your quest, my friends. The sooner your business is concluded, the sooner we may speak of mine. Should your search take you away from Kugane, my boat is at your disposal. I shall see that she is ready to sail. Tataru says, I'll give Sorban a hand, and if he's providing us a ship, the least we can do is supply the provisions. We'll be at the pier if you need us. Elfino says, a welcome offer and an excellent plan. Without further ado, then, let us seek out this informant in Sanjo Hanamachi. Alright, the closest one is Rakuza District. Yugiri says, "You've had dealings with informants in the cities, have you not? Perchance you are already acquainted with this one." Oh no, I have a feeling who this is. Yes, yes? Given the Empire's movements, it seems highly probable that Gosetsu and Yotsuyu were indeed in Kugane, yet I can offer no explanation as to why they should be together. This should be the place. Now we wait and see who comes. It has been a while, my friends. Yes, yes, a long while indeed. Did I call it? I knew it. Kyoto, any funny business and you know what will happen, I trust. No funny business. Only loyal service and the finest quality information. Of course, such quality does not come cheap. No. But then Hancock already paid you. Honestly, you must think we were born yesterday. I've half a mind to call lease. No lease. I beg you, no boots. I will tell you everything I know, free of charge. The Empire searches for Yotsuyu, high and low, far and wide. Come to enlist my help, they did, promising rich rewards for decisive information. Elfino says, and have you decisive information? Were the two individuals cited here indeed Gosetsu and Yotsuyu? Alas, seen them with my own eyes I did not, but the Imperials are confident. Yes, yes, very confident indeed. Look at the size of their contingent. But there's something they do not know. A rumor which you will find most interesting, I think. They say an elderly Rugen samurai appeared on Kogane Dori with a beauteous maiden and sold his katana to a pawnbroker. 'Twas no common katana either, but one of surpassing craftsmanship. Well, that is interesting, assuming it's true. Did you corroborate the rumor with the pawnbroker in question? No. Regrettably, I do not have a working relationship with the master of Shofuku Shichiten. Now, why would that be, I wonder? If I didn't know better, I'd think he'd lent you money. Ahem! He will help you, I am certain. While you speak with him, I will make contact with my Garlean connections and learn what I can of their progress. Yugiri says, a glimpse of the blade is all I need to be sure. But is it wise to let the Namazu out of our sight? Nope. He'll betray us. No more betrayals, no more boots. To divide our forces is simply more efficient. Elise says, he's right. Given the urgency, we would do well to split up. And so I will go with our friend here. Nothing improves efficiency like a little supervision. Alice's smirk there. Yes, we will go together, and there will be no boots. Let's be about it then. Good luck with the katana. Shall we reconvene at the pier later on? Fragrant as the Ruby Bazaar offices are, I prefer the fresh air. I believe Alice has her task well in hand. Shall we seek out the pawnbroker? Yep. You've learned the emote greeting. Is it not strange that we should be compelled to turn to one who betrayed both you and Gosetsu to the Empire? I would say the fates made mock of us, had I not met Hancock. Green tea set. Elfino is eager to find the pawnbroker. Everything in order? Then let us proceed to Kogani Dori and find the master of Shofuku Shichiten. I speak French, not Japanese, so I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it anywhere in the vicinity of correctly, but I try. Perky pawnbroker. We might have had customers like those you described. So many people come through, it's difficult to remember. Perhaps you could jog my memory by making a purchase? No? Well, you can't blame a woman for trying. This doesn't seem to be the pawnbroker you seek. Pushy pawnbroker. A Rugen samurai and a maiden? Never seen him. Now, if you don't have any business with me, make way for someone who does. This doesn't seem to be the pawnbroker you seek. Excuse me. Welcome, good sir. Welcome. Would you be buying or... Ah, so you have heard tell of the Rugen and Samurai's katana. Small wonder it is a fine example of its kind. One moment. Dare I hope you've found our pawnbroker? Excellent work, Gav. And that is the katana? There can be no doubt. It is Gosetsu's blade. The craftsmanship is exquisite, is it not? And you'll be pleased to know that the pledge has just expired. I should be glad to sell it to you, assuming you have the coin. This is no ordinary weapon, you understand, and it is priced accordingly. But if you are serious, I suggest you act quickly, as several noted collectors have already expressed an interest. The blade represents conclusive proof of Gosetsu's survival. I suppose this could be considered a necessary cost in securing his safe return. Yet it is not a decision I can make alone, least of all when our nation has scarce begun to rebuild. I could lend you the coin. Nay, my friend. Grateful though I am for the offer, I cannot ask this of you. It is enough to know that Gosetsu is alive and well. Yugiri, wait. The scions will buy the katana. Pray, consider it a gift. Master Alfino, your kindness is touching, truly. Yet in matters of coin, would Mistress Taru not expect to be consulted? Come now, our friend would never have relinquished his blade were the need not great. And are we not bound by honor to help a friend in need? I say we are, and I am sure Tataru will wholeheartedly agree. The master says, it's settled then. You have made a wise choice, my friends. Such pieces are few and far between. Now, if you would be so good as to come this way, I shall prepare the necessary papers. If I may ask, sir, after he visited your establishment, do you perchance know where the old samurai went? He is our friend, and we would return his weapon to him. A friend of yours, you say? I see. Well, then. I suppose there can be no harm in telling you. No sooner had I provided him with the requested sum than his pretty young companion began clamoring for dango. I duly recommended those served at the Umineko tea house, and thither did they set off. Clamoring for dango? Can these truly be the same people? It makes no sense. Some manner of code, perhaps, but it avails us not to speculate. Let us go to this tea house and see if we can pick up the trail. If you're looking for your friends, you could do worse than to try the Umineko tea house. I make no guarantees, of course. Yuri says, the Gosetsu I knew had little time for tea houses. No wine. No wine. So that's why he doesn't have time for tea houses. Elfino says, this is the proprietor of the tea house. Let us find out what she knows. Alright, let's talk to Ume. But of course I remember. How could I forget a pair like that? The most beautiful girl you'll ever see, scoffing down Dango as if her life depended on it, while the old samurai looked on. Not quite what he expected, I wager. Far be it for me to gossip about my customers, but he was planning to spirit her away across the Ruby Sea, out of reach of her family, no doubt. When the girl had finally had her filled, they set off in the direction of the Shiokaze hostelry, presumably to find someone discreet with a boat. Yugiri says, so, Gosetsu makes for Doma. But this woman who travels with him, the more I hear about her, the more I wonder if she can truly be Yotsuyu. Does she have anything else? Gosetsu's trail leads to the sea, and that is where Yugiri would go. While doubts remain over the identity of Gosetsu's traveling companion, for now we can but follow the trail. Come, let us away to the pier and make ready to sail. With luck, Alize will already have joined Master Sorban and Mr. Sataru there. Alright. Yugiri says, the others all did their part. I'm truly blessed to have such dependable comrades. Alize, I watched Kyoto meet with his Imperial associate, and I have to say, I'm impressed. He has sycophancy down to a fine art. Sycophancy is, you know, the art of sucking up. Apparently, Kyoto did his duty and then promptly excused himself. Couldn't bear another moment under Alize's withering gaze, I expect. Tataru. While we were arranging the provisions, Sorban told me all about his many business ventures. Honestly, his nose for profit puts mine to shame. Excellent timing, my friends. Mistress Alize arrived mere moments ago. Alize says, all went well at my end. Kyoto met with an Imperial officer and wheedled his way to some new information. It seems the troops who recently arrived in Kugane came directly from Garlemald. The Imperials based here have been kept in the dark. And that's not all. A contingent of the aforementioned troops are preparing for deployment to the Ruby Sea. If I didn't know better, I'd say they'd picked up Gosetsu's trail. Alfino says, then your information matches ours. We are quite certain that Gosetsu seeks to cross to the mainland. I'm sorry, did I hear that right? You used Scion funds to buy Gosetsu's katana? At the asking price? Aye, well, we were in some haste, and it seemed a worthwhile gesture. Speaking of which, here's the contract of sale. Pray, see that the demand is paid. Thal's beard. You agreed to this? Give me strength. Just trying not to say Thal's balls. Well, it's not like the search can wait. You'd best be on your way. But Alfino, we need to talk. I want you to come straight to the offices as soon as you come back. Promise me. Oh? Oh, very well. I shall call upon you as soon as I return. Sorbonne says, first, let us go to the Ruby Price. If Kozetsu has already set sail, the sentries there are sure to have seen him. Gotta love allergies. Sorry. It just seems really tacky to blow your nose on stream, you know? Yugiri says, judging by her reaction, Mistress Sitaru is none too pleased. I apologize if the katana has caused strife. Sorbonne says, Mistress Sitaru seems in low spirits. Happily, my latest venture may prove just the tonic. Ooh. Alright, gonna take a brief pause here. Papa Cat Gamer requires my attention for a few moments. And we're back. Papa Cat Gamer is making a flag case for my great Uncle Ken's flag. As the burial flag. He was killed in action in April 1945. Not very long before VE Day. He was killed in action in Germany, fighting Germans, the Nazis. And he gave his life for our country. At least they said, what is the going rate for a priceless weapon, I wonder? And now I know who not to ask. I don't think we have a fight here, but if we do, we'll be okay. Tataru seemed rather vexed, did she not? Ever the melodramatist, I'm sure our finances can stretch to a single sword. Remind me to explain the value of such gestures when we next see her. But I digress. We have work to do. Commence battle for hope on the waves. Hang on, let me check this real quick. I don't want there to be any surprises. I need to eat food because, yes, there is a battle coming. Of course, I turned the mic off.
Right. I suggest we begin by learning what we can from the sentries.
Uh-oh.
What's going on out there?
Travelers, are you? You may wish to postpone your plans. The Garleans have launched an attack on the Confederacy. We have no reason to believe they'll turn their attention here, but for your own safety, I suggest you return to Kugane.
Uh-oh. There's more trouble coming.
The Garleans bear no love for the Confederacy. But with Doma lost to them, why would they attack? Unless...
Unless Yotsuyu is on that island.
Even if she isn't, our allies are under attack and they need our help.
We will help them, while you remain with Soroban. Arguing will only delay us. Is that clear?
Fine, but you haven't heard the last of this.
Soroban, we may need to make a swift exit. See that the boat is ready to sail at a moment's notice.
It shall be done.
What, and you're going to swim there, are you?
'Tis the quickest way, and you may rest assured I've been practicing.
Come.
An opening. Your defense is nothing.
Get the signifiers. We're gonna get the signifiers and then we're gonna get the rear guard. You're here for the old man, yes? He's at the top. You'd best hurry.
Lady Yotsuyu, we're here to rescue you. Please, come with us.
Stay back, Tsuyu.
Are you all right?
Is he all right?
Gosetsu!
Damn it, we took too long. Change of plan, eliminate hostiles! All forces, attack!
I'm gonna get rid of this signifier again. try and kill it before it detonates. Oh, we're gonna take that away.
The art of my forebears.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely keep them all in here. Oh, nice. All right. So you want to keep them all in that circle.
Gosetsu, thank the heavens.
Yugiri, my friends, the Kami were kind to guide your steps this way.
It's over. The Imperials are retreating. I suppose we have you to thank for that. But they would never have come here were it not for her. I had a bad feeling the moment your samurai friend arrived with that woman in tow.
Do not be afraid, Suyu. These people are my friends.
Friends.
Forgive me, but at the risk of souring the mood, I believe you owe us an explanation. You may start by telling us what happened at Doma Castle.
Of course. I'll not begrudge you that. As you know, we were trapped inside the keep when it collapsed. But even as the roof crumbled above us, so too did the floor below. We were swept out into the One River, where we would surely have drowned had a stout wooden door not chanced to float by, offering us a raft of sorts. Exhausted, we drifted out to sea, at the mercy of the tides, which saw fit to dispense us on a desert island.
She was with you the entire time?
Aye. 'Twas her kimono which saved her from Hien's blade, believe it or not. Some Garlean witchcraft in the weave. But it offered precious little protection against the fall. Though she survived, she awoke bereft of all her memories, and speaking like a child.
A trick, surely.
That was my first thought, and I contemplated cutting her down and being done with it. Contemplated it long and hard. Yet the Kami saw fit to deliver us from certain death. 'Twas their will that we survive, both of us, together. And together we shall go before our master. He shall be the one to judge.
Judge what?
She's your prisoner, old man. Do with her as you will. Call her Tsuyu, or whatever else tickles your fancy.
'Twas a name given out of necessity whilst on the road. Nothing more.
As you say. But remember this. Our people suffered much at that woman's hands. When the time comes, I trust you won't let emotion blind you to what needs to be done.
You have my word.
Well, I must be going. I have an unholy mess to clean up. You should be on your way too, before the Imperials decide to take another tilt. Oh, and we'll overlook the tithe this once. You're welcome.
We only saved you, but okay, you'll overlook the tithe this one time. Yotsu says, "Are you coming with us?" Gosetsu says, "With you and yours at our side, we have naught to fear. Thank you, my friend." Yugiri says, "Few suffered more at Yotsu's hands than Gosetsu. If this is his wish, so be it." Afino says, "As Tansui says, we should move on. It would not do for Yotsu to be seen here. Now, if I know my sister, she will already be waiting with the boat at the nearby pier. Let's go and see if I'm right." Oh, hey. While we're here. Sakazuki. Its name meaning goblet, this island is said to be the birthplace of the Confederacy, where rival pirates first toasted as brothers and pledged themselves to a common cause. Today it remains an important outpost, constantly garrisoned by sharp-eyed guards who keep watch for vessels that sail the Ruby Sea. Everyone's staring at me. I understand I have the scions to thank for my katana's safe return. A samurai's blade is his soul, and no words will suffice to express my gratitude for reuniting me with mine. And here she is, just as I anticipated. I am only surprised she agreed to hold off until the Empire withdrew. Are we certain she is the real Yotsuyu? Gosetsu lives, all of the considerations should pale next to that. And yet... Gosetsu! Thank the gods you're safe. It was all I could do to watch the battle from afar. And it was all I could do to restrain her. Can you blame me for worrying? Strong as Gav is, anything could happen in the chaos. But enough about me. We need to talk about her. Greetings. They tell me you've lost your memory, and that's fine, but I want you to know something. I won't be taking my eyes off of you. Not for a moment. These people are strange. Are you sure they're your friends? I am. They may behave strangely, but I trust them with my life. You have naught to fear. All right, if you say so. This Yugiri doesn't know what to make of it. Right, 'tis past time we set sail. I, for one, would not keep Lord Hien waiting without due cause. Aye, and the longer we tarry, the more we risk inviting trouble. Lest you forget the Red Kojin bear no love for Yotsuyu either. I shall deliver you to familiar shores, near Isari, but out of the villager's sight. Elise says, we do well to give Isari a wide berth for everyone's sake. Yotsu is, are we going to that village? They might have Dango. Another time, Suyu, our path takes us in a different direction. Elfino says, though I only know Yotsuyu by reputation, this woman could scarce seem more different. Let us make haste to the city. Lord Hien must know of this. Here's where we part ways, my friend. I pray the remainder of your journey passes uneventfully. Gev, when you are not otherwise occupied, I would speak with you about my next business venture. It promises to be extremely lucrative, and I do not say so lightly. After the prodigious sum spent acquiring a certain sword, it would present a fine opportunity to refill the Scion's coffers and restore the smile to Mistress Tataru's face. Elfino says, oh, come along. Tataru was overreacting. How much could a single katana possibly cost? Elise says, far more than you think, plainly. A blade like Kozetsu's is worth a fortune. Enough to buy a house and furnish it. Which you would know had you bothered to check the price. What? I had no idea. This business venture of Sorbonne's, he'll give it fair hearing, I trust. He has been good to us, after all. As for me, I think I shall look into drawing upon my personal funds. Good idea, Elfino. I confess, I have never had much cause to consider the state of my personal finances. Until now, confound it. He's absolutely mortified, isn't he? Well, maybe he'll think twice before making his next grand gesture. If he ever missed an opportunity to show me how much more mature and responsible he is, I'd sympathize. I mean, I do, to a point, but that doesn't mean I'm about to let him forget this. Spoken like a true sibling. Yuri is eager to see Gosetsu safely back to her master. We must meet with Lord Hien as soon as possible, though mayhap not at the Enclave. I will send word requesting that he receive us at the House of the Fierce, where there are fewer prying eyes. If all are in agreement, I shall scout ahead and see that the way is clear. Pray follow as swiftly as you are able and join me in the outskirts of Namai. Yeah. It'd be faster to go this direction than the other. All is well. Good, the others are hiding nearby. Let us proceed quietly, if you please.
My lord here, I am returned.
Save your tears for the morrow. For we who yet walk the path should not think too much on the destination. When the hour arrives, we shall welcome what comes with open arms. And welcome it you did, even as the keep fell down around us. At that moment, in your smile, I spied a shred of hope. One which I have clung to ever since. Gorsetsu, full glad am I to see you alive and well.
We have played this scene before, have we not? Though this time our roles are reversed.
That they are. Meaning you know how I feel. Wholly at a loss for words. Welcome back, old friend. Now then, though we rejoice at your return, it seems you have brought with you certain complications.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Rise, my friend. Tell me everything. The Empire is bold indeed to send a token force to engage the Confederacy.
As acting Viceroy, Yotsuyu would have been privy to Imperial secrets. The Garleans will not soon give up the chase.
Nay, it will end with her capture, or her death.
Are you a friend, too?
She claims to have lost her memory, though I know not if she speaks true. I brought her here that you might decide her fate.
Lost her memory, you say? Regardless, the people have not forgotten. Her face yet haunts their dreams. She cannot roam free. We will hold her here for a time. Place her in Jufia's care, with the express instruction that she is not to be seen.
Yes, my lord. Come.
No, I don't want to. Don't let her take me away!
It's all right, Suyu. I will come with you. Be a good girl, and listen to Yugiri.
From a hound at his throat to a puppy at his heel. If this is an act, it is a remarkable performance.
Thank you for delivering Gosetsu back to us in one piece. We are lucky indeed to have friends who would journey to the other side of the world to help us, and repeatedly at that. We have much and more to think upon, but as regards the Empire, we can but watch and wait. Now then, seeing as you've come all this way, you must allow me to show you around the Enclave. I would not have you thinking we've been idle in your absence. The rebuilding effort proceeds apace, I'm pleased to say, and we are now ready to welcome home our countrymen who were displaced by the war. Should they so desire it, there is a place here for those who fled to Eorzea. Elfino said, "We should be delighted to accept your invitation, Lord Hien, and I have no doubt that your subjects at Revenant's Toll will be heartened to hear that their lord has not forgotten them." Oh, it's nothing. I just thought that Gozetsu and Yugiri would be back by now. Forgive me, my lord, but Captain Jifuya is nowhere to be found. Oh? He was here when I arrived. For now, we have taken Yotsuyu to a private chamber and assigned another to watch over her, my lord, but I find it passing strange that the captain should leave his post with nary a word. Elfino said, "This does seem most unusual. If you mean to look for the man, we would be happy to assist you." "We should be glad of the help. While I search without, mayhap you could ask our soldiers here if they know anything." "I will join you." "With respect, my lord, you should remain here. Should the Empire move against us, you'll be better able to coordinate our response." And here I was thinking I was in charge, but you have the right of it. Go on then, I will mind the house. All right. We're going to leave it here for the night. We have to have our cat joke, you know. All right, cat joke time. What do baby cats always wear? Diapers. Diapers. All right, that one's terrible. All right. If you can, help us, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos. We've got playlists. I'm working on getting the solo instance playlist put together as we go along. So you should see more of those as we go along. And we've got Claire Obscure Expedition 33 as well. So we will see you soon, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out. You have a great one.